Hello everyone and welcome back to another The Most Forbidden Love in the World video. Last time, I don't remember entirely what happened last time, but I do remember one thing. And that one thing is Osamu finding out that Asami can't get pregnant. Which, I believe that's where I left off on. So, without wasting any more time, let's continue on with the story. Load. And right here. With Buntaro right here. Okay. What's going on right now? Oh, it's Himeo. Oh, everyone's here. Hmm.
合格者たったの十数名という超難関をくぐり抜けて見事特待試験合格を勝ち取った大家ちゃんから一言。おめでとう、とこちゃん。お嬢様、そういうのは挨拶が終わってから。
どうも、なんというか、今日は私のためにかくも盛大なお祝いの席を用意していただき。
うわ、勝て！
いろいろご迷惑もおかけしましたが、こうして無事進学できることも決まり、その感謝の気持ちでいっぱいで。とこちゃん頑張れ。あと春から通う終戦大夫は、終戦大の広いキャンパスの中に
In the huge campus of Shusen, yeah. You are... And she's not gonna say it. Oh my. I'm assuming she's going to move into the dorms or some shit?
もう俺リストラ呼んでくる。
ダメ、いいってば安永くん。
いいわけないじゃん。大家ちゃんの次に頑張ってたのあいつじゃんよ。やっぱここにいなきゃおかしいって。
Oh wait, Osamu's not here?
疲れてるんだから。たまにはそういう日もあるんだから。だから
けど何があったって今日だけはさ、大家ちゃんが一番祝ってほしいのが誰かぐらい。
嬉しいから。私みんなに祝ってもらえてすっごく嬉しいから。とこちゃん。私が悪かったね。ちょっと挨拶ど忘れしちゃってさ。ごめん、もう一回いいかな。
No。
分かった。おいクマ、ご隠居、あんたらも盛り上げろよ。無一文の面してんな。
お前、無一文の面って、それ比喩でもなんでもないじゃん。
一本取られちまいましたね、これは。
かやさんもね、とこちゃんの大切な日にそういう態度許さないわよ。まだ酒が入ってないからこういう顔してるだけだってばさ。それじゃあ続きいくね。終戦大キャンパスってすっごい広くてさ。でね、付属は正門入ってから一番奥の方に校舎があってさ。そうそう、バス停2つくらい平気で歩かされるのよね。面接に遅刻しそうになった時は勘弁してよって思ったけどね。
No. Oh, now I guess I'm in Osamu's room now. And of course he's alone with Asami. Why wouldn't he? I could hear everyone's cheerful voices through the thin walls.
私たちも行かない？みとこちゃんの合格パーティー。もともとはあなたが企画したんでしょ？ほら、こんなところで暗くなってる場合じゃないわよ。
Basically, the party was originally set to happen in this room. It was a moment I'd been looking forward to for a while now. All of her efforts during the year had borne fruit. I swore to myself to celebrate it, regardless of what awaited afterwards. In fact, I'd been preparing for it all day.
じゃあさ、私少しだけ顔出してくるわね。みとこちゃんに挨拶して飲み物でももらって。
God damn it, Osamu, say something. he's still not saying anything. But right now, I was sitting in complete silence in the room I had prepared myself, emanating a glooming aura. And I had Asami's hand in mine. I was going to let her go. I wasn't going to let her go. Fuck. Oh my. Asami's tone, gentle, exasperated, and somewhat resigned, summoned all my negative emotions back to the surface. Would things between us have turned out differently had I known the truth? I kept mulling it over in my mind, and with each terrifying conclusion I reached, my eyes would tear up from the deep pangs of regret gnawing at my heart. Right. Huh? What you mean by that, Asami? You'll get in what mood? Asami! As Asami squeezed my hand back and leaned against the wall next to me, resting her head on my shoulder, her usual fragrance began to fill my nostrils. I could feel the characteristically soothing scent of her hair and body surround me. ... And now it's night. So that's when... Back when Asami had mentioned to me that she might be pregnant? That doesn't matter now. 2.5 years since we started living together, 1.5 years since we married. Finally, but lately, at long last, I was prepared and ready for my incredibly busy life to take a dramatic turn. Despite agreeing to have a child as soon as we got married, Asami did not get pregnant in the 2 years we had spent together. 1 month passed, 2 months passed, half a year passed. The ecstatic, newlywed atmosphere slowly dissipated, but we simply interpreted that as us beginning to mature as people. I might have secretly wished for it to happen sooner, but I was still in the mood of it'll happen sooner or later anyway. That was a whole year into our marriage, after our wedding anniversary had become a thing of the past. They said there was a possibility I might be infertile. I mean, it's just a possibility. The subject had gradually become a taboo between us. That's just a given, isn't it? With me constantly doing overtime and going to work, even on the weekends, we didn't have much time to just sit down and talk. But we didn't have many fights, and once we were in each other's embrace, we would stay locked together until morning. That's not true. You heard that? I thought reporting one's impending fatherhood to one's mother was common practice. Well, if you didn't take into account the circumstances of my family in particular. I didn't call her just because I was happy. The mother I remembered would constantly fight with my father while being completely indifferent towards me. Or rather, she seemingly regretted even giving birth to me in the first place. God damn. I had no warm memories of her to speak of. I didn't recall her ever scolding me. In fact, she never even had a proper conversation with me my entire life. But whenever she abruptly expressed her doubts, not as worry or scorn, but as a detached observation over me raising a child, I felt a surge of emotions in my chest. I ended up shouting at her over the phone. I swear I'll raise this child, and I don't need anyone's help.
それからあなたちょっと変わったわよね。
If I could be allowed a brief digression, when I called my mother half a year later and told her about my breakup, all she said was, "Thought so." Her voice remained devoid of worried or even scorn, uttering the words as a detached observation and nothing more.
前以上に
God damn, what a piece of shit.
どんどん大きな仕事任されるようになってどんどん自分にプレッシャーかけてって
From a strictly work-related perspective, those were some of my best days. I was the only employee with less than 5 years worth of experience who was allowed to manage 7 to 8 figure sums. During that 1 year, before the fraudulent accounting had been discovered, I was moving more money than even our president.
はためには気づかれないくらいの小さな変化かもしれないけれど一緒に暮らしてる人間にはその気の使われ方が痛かった
It's my fault.
私のせい
Had I only noticed it, had I noticed that there was something heavy weighing on your mind, if she had told me, I could have accepted the truth. But I was wrong. It was wrong of me to assume that acceptance was the correct choice. Asami suffered the most in this entire thing. She was the one who kept talking about all the bright possibilities for our future. I never realized that my acceptance didn't automatically elicit her.
無理なのよおさむにはそういうことわからないの
But I...
そんなおさむだからこそ子供が必要だって思ったんだもの一緒に育てようって決心したんだもの
あ
だからもうああこれはダメだって思ったの私といるとおさむは私の目指したおさむにならないなって公約守れなくなっちゃったな
I was extremely picky about my food, had trouble understanding the feelings of others. I never had much self-confidence when dealing with people because I lacked so many things. I couldn't even argue with Asami's decision for us to separate.
でも本当のこと話すとおさむは別れてくれないでしょ
Of course I wouldn't have. It was all my fault.
そうやってずるずると夫婦を続けて数年後に後悔するよりスパッと別れちゃった方がお互いやり直しも効くかなって
Asami,
教師になりたいってのは本当に学生時代からの夢だったし導く相手が一時期だけたった一人の大人に変わったけど
Asami, who decided to spend her life on my guidance, realized she didn't possess a vital teaching aid needed for her plans and chose to give up instead of holding me back.
だからおさむが気に病むことなんかない私は今でもあの時の判断は正しかったって信じてる
Asami. Asami was only telling the facts. Yet she said nothing about her own feelings. She did not say whether or not she personally wanted to stay.
まあおさむの方がそこまで落ちちゃってたのは予想外だったけどそういう意味ではちょっとだけ後悔してるかな
After we reunited, it took a couple of days for her to start smiling in front of me. I kept wondering what went on her mind behind that smile.
でもね今のおさむはいいよとってもいい抱かれたいって思っちゃうくらいいい
Huh? Asami, relax. Osamu, unfortunately, is with Mitoko. Well, I don't know. Fortunately, unfortunately, I'm still debating that. Well, I'm more leaning on unfortunately, but still.
一人の女の 私が与えられなかった気持ち、自分で掴み取ろうとしてる。
The touch of her hand was gentle and full of warmth. It soothed me, dispelling all my pain.
あなたがあまりにも一生懸命なせいで、女の子の方の気持ちがすごいことになっちゃってるけどね。
I'm sorry for everything. I'm so sorry. My tears would not stop. I wouldn't try to stop them either.
こっちこそごめん。再会しちゃって。
I was happy. It hurt, but it was also very nostalgic.
それにごめん。ちょっとだけ焼けぼっくいに火がついちゃった。
I was happy. I was so happy to see you hadn't changed.
気持ちよかったけど、またハマっちゃったけど、そろそろやめないとね。
Before I knew it, the party next door seemed to have ended. The day when Toko finally passed her exams, the day I'd been waiting for, the fruit of all my labor over the course of this past year. It all ended up getting swallowed up by those 2 years from my past. God damn it, Osamu. Oh my, wait, hold on, I gotta do some. Alright, apologies everyone. Had to do something real quick, but let's see. What did Mutaru say? Let's not tell that story for today, shall we, Mr. Mutaru? It's hardly an appropriate time for it anyways. Okay.
どうするのかね、あの二人。
で、どの二人のことで？今なら3通りの組み合わせが考えられますけど。
今日は大家ちゃんをネタにするのはよそうぜ。一応すっげえめでたい日なんだからさ。
リストラ、元は田舎者だしな。子供できないってのは大きなハンデかもな。
最近はいい雰囲気だったんですけどね。それこそ若大家さんが気が気でなくなるくらいに。
けどできないからって子供を選ぶってのも30男の倫理観として終わってるしな。
いい加減にしろよあんたら。このままじゃ俺が今日一番の常識人じゃないかよ。
やっぱり私
Kaya and Himeo. I'm more excited for Himeo though.
じゃあどうするのよ。子供が欲しければどこで作ってもいい。自分の男の子供なら私の子供じゃなくても愛せるよ。あなたはそれでいいかもしれないけれど、そんな風に考えられる人なんてめったにいないわよ。あの人は独占欲が強くてそれができなかったんだろうね。大家さんとどっこいどっこいなくらいに。一人よりも二人って思うのはいけないことなのかしら。三人になれないなら一人ってなんだか寂しい。あんたは二人でも三人でもお構いなしだもんね。大家さんが絡むと。見てきたような嘘を言わないでちょうだい。私はいつでもトコちゃんと二人きりよ。
Don't lie, Himeo. Alright. What's going on with Mitoko?
頑張ったよ、おさむくん。
Oh, she's with Osamu?
私頑張ったよ。頑張ったんだよ。なんでこうなっちゃうのかな。ねえ誰か、世界中でたった一人でもいいよ。私のこと認めてよ。私の気持ち正しいって間違ってないって言ってよ。
Oh, he's not there. Okay. I thought he was there. Alright. In the end.
ねえ、おさむ。
What the? Don't tell me. Please do not tell me. Do not tell me they're doing it. I'm gonna get pissed off if it's what I think it is. Okay.
そろそろ帰らないと。
Okay, good.
もうこれ以上はみとこちゃんに悪いわよ。今日のうちに彼女を祝ってあげないと。もう
Asami stayed by my side, holding my hand until I drifted off to sleep. Okay, they were just sleeping together. Well, I mean, they were they were married before, so I guess it shouldn't be weird, but he does have Mitoko now, so I guess in this situation it is weird. I don't know. Yes, that is correct. How fast do you think we'll be able to receive an estimate? Huh? Ah, I see. But then, how will we be able to receive the delivery within this week? I see. So it would take at least a week then. Yes, I understand. Absolutely. In that case, I do hope you'll have the exact estimate by tomorrow morning. Goodbye. Murake Iron. If this keeps up, we'll have to cut them off. Anyway, let me see what's next. Oh. Himeo. As I looked up in response to that abrupt voice, I saw my direct superior glaring at me with a fairly intimidating expression. What's the matter? I thought you already left for the day.
今日っていつのことよ？何月何日？
The date? It's Friday, so the 1st of February?
残念。ただいまより2月2日午前1時をお知らせします。
Ah, I see. For some reason, I thought it was 11 p.m. The clock looked strangely fuzzy and wobbly tonight.
この時間まで付き合ってくれる取引先に向かってなんて無慈悲なこと言うのよ。
Relax, it's not like I actually told him I'll be cutting them off.
見積もりを明日朝一にの方よ。相手に徹夜させる気？
We've already agreed on the price, so it shouldn't take more than an hour. Besides, they were supposed to have it ready yesterday.
なんて無慈悲な。うちがそんな大口叩ける会社だと思ってるの？
I expect more from the Sawashima group.
大企業病？
Our company could breathe a sigh of relief if the daughter of the group's leader was at least aware of the concept. Look, I understand if it's really bothering you. I'll wait until tomorrow noon, but I'll take competitive estimations from another 2 or 3 companies just in case. A speedy delivery was currently of bigger importance than the price itself. It was preferable to cut off the companies that failed to meet their deadline sooner rather than later. That was just how business worked. For a company like ours that dealt in both buying and selling, our own deadlines and reputation depended on our own providers.
分かった。その件はこれ以上口を挟まない。けど、もう一ついい？
What is it, Himeo? As long as it won't take too long, I still have to prepare an exhaustive list of all materials by morning.
どうしてあなたが資材調達の仕事をしてるのよ。私は経理部に戻したはずよ。
That definitely didn't take long. In contrast to my relatively composed reply, I actually broke out in cold sweat. I didn't expect her to find me out. Lately, Himeo had been noticing and sharing sensible opinions on all sorts of work-related matters. You could see her grow and mature at an incredible speed. I found it almost disappointing that she would be returning to her university studies come April.
誰もいないオフィスにただ一人残って取引先の担当を深夜残業に巻き込んでそれでしてる仕事が担当外ってどういうこと？
I missed a month's worth of work due to my injury last year. This is the least I can do to try and cover for that period.
上司が指示もしていない仕事に残業代を払えと？
It's okay. I'm not reporting it as overtime.
そんなことしたら組合が黙ってないでしょ。
It's fine. I actually took over some of the union executive's duties as well in exchange for him turning a blind eye to this. Oh. Her gaze pierced me like a knife.
今週の役員会でかなり話題になってたのよ。去年からずっと進捗が遅れていた有馬再開発プロジェクトが最近になって怒涛の巻き返しを見せてるって。
That's good. The end of the fiscal year is right around the corner, so it's the perfect time to show some progress.
まさかこんなところに元凶がいたとはね。
That's a word you use to describe a person doing a bad thing, not someone helping others behind the scenes.
私が帰る時も来た時もいつもいるのが当然だったから気がつかなかった。ずっとアパートに帰ってないなんて。オサムさん、あなた一体何のつもりよ。経理部と調達部と不動産部でそれぞれ1日8時間働いてるって。
I'm not that crazy. I try not to schedule more than 7 hours a day for all departments other than accounting. That That gives me time to run a few quick errands for the union. I take regular baths too. There's a pretty good sauna nearby. They also have a coin-operated laundry machines downstairs, so I don't need to worry about clothes either.
食事は
Did you know about this new thing they've been selling at convenience stores lately? You only need to microwave it for a few minutes and you'll get yourself some delicious pasta. I really got addicted to it, even considered eating it 3 times a day. This is the project that ended up being behind schedule because of my injury.
あなたはもともと有馬の担当じゃなかった。それに一人の能力に頼りきりなんて会社の仕事として間違ってる。
Well...
それこそ修さんがまた怪我をしたら今度はプロジェクトそのものが頓挫するのよ。
Vice Chief Hiragi told me the exact same thing 3 hours ago, that I should learn to depend on others a bit more. I found it weird how I was the complete opposite when it came to private affairs though. But I caused everyone trouble last year, so in order to remain a full-fledged employee in this company, I have to...
ただの逃避なんでしょ。
Oh, the music changed. I could take anything, complaints, leading questions, or outright verbal abuse, but I should have just told her that I'd been going home as soon as I finished something and bought more time that way.
このままじゃ壊れちゃうわよ。あなたの奥さんだってトコちゃんだってそんなの望んでいないのよ。
I just love my job. What's wrong with that? I finally managed to forget, but she just had to. I was calculating money, negotiating prices with the providers, raising funds, and buying up real estates. The bigger the project, the harder I tried. The risks I take on my shoulders, the bloody battles that came with it, and the feeling of fulfillment after each victory helped me push the memories of that day out of my mind.
ほんと危ういわね。はやさんの言った通り、放っておくと死んでも気づかずに働いてそう。でもね、そんな命削っての逃げなんか認めるわけにはいかないの。
Why can't you just leave me alone for a while? I gave up myself to this hectic lifestyle so I wouldn't have to think about and make any choices. And regardless of all the progress I made over the past 2 weeks, my heart and soul continue to stagnate.
ちょっとくらい心配するこっちの身にもなりなさいよ。おさむさんには自覚ないかもしれないけど、私は。
But you...
あなた。
Yes, Himeo? What? Himeo who had always been the first to start shouting, appeared to be confronting me with a completely different emotion this time around. She looked to the side, clenched her teeth, and trembled. There was something welling up in her eyes. Himeo? Himeo laid her feelings bare in front of me in a way she would have considered utterly humiliating in any other situation.
Sasaki?
What's Sasaki doing here, Himeo? You were here too, Mr. Sasaki? I suddenly felt Mr. Sasaki's presence behind me. Was he actually able to be invincible until called or something?
おさむさん、第二秘書を部屋まで運ぶわよ。必ず今夜はぐっすり寝かせてやるんだから。
Uh-oh.
かしこまりました。
Whoa! Excuse me, Mr. Sasaki? How are they planning to make me fall asleep exactly? Mr. Sasaki wrapped his arms around my sides from behind and heaved me up like a sack of potatoes. He might have possessed a fairly muscular physique, but I didn't expect him to be capable of this, given my height.
さあ、おとなしくしてください、吉村様。とはいえ、激しく抵抗する男性を無理やり抱きしめるのも、それはそれで猛烈な役得感が。
Damn, it sounds like Mr. Sasaki's barely holding on to him. I'll do everything you say, just please let me go. I felt that my chastity, a very specific kind, would have been in danger had I continued to resist here. Alright. Oh, this is Kaya's room?
グッと言ってグッと。私、今日はこのドクターペッっていうの試してみようかな。
Dr. Pepper? I thought you wanted me to sleep. And after that forceful deportation back to the boarding house, I found myself in the room next to mine. I could see crushed ice and plethora of bottles amongst all sorts of snacks. They even ordered the pizza I liked on the table. Not to mention...
それは大家さんから。今日こそはおさむくん連れ帰るって言ったら差し入れって。
Toko?
うわ
All of these were things I liked. Fried, boiled, pickled dishes. I could also see rice, various soups, and even fruits. It was a feast that had taken everything into consideration, both the balance of nutrients and the fact that it would probably have to be eaten cold. In short, motherly cooking prepared ironically by the daughter. Why did she have to be such a good girl? She was already far too good as a stepdaughter, so why would she continue to sacrifice more of herself for my sake? It was such a waste. I couldn't help but break out in tears.
ほら、泣くのは食べながらでもできるでしょ。始めようよ、おさむ。おさむさん、私もちょっといただいてもいい？トコちゃんのご飯久しぶりで。
You can always ask her to make something for you. Toko made all of this for me, and no one else.
なんてはしたない恩知らず。あなた、どうしてトコちゃんが絡むとそこまで大人げなくなるのよ。
Obviously, that's because Toko's my... she's my, Just a few weeks ago, I could puff my chest out and boast of the bond we shared. But now our relationship had taken an unexpected turn, and I could no longer talk about it without pangs of guilt.
乾杯しよっか。亡くなってしまったおさむくんの倫理への哀悼の意を表して。今日までのおさむさんの無駄な葛藤をたたえて。
What? Excuse me?
こんな情けないのっぽさんにまだ惚れてるバカな女たちの前途を祝して。
Who are you even talking about?
乾杯。
だ
から言ったでしょ。目を離したらダメだよこの人。放っておけば何日でも寝ずに仕事するんだから。ほんとうかつだったわ。毎日いつも通りで一生懸命働いてたからすっかり騙された。
I never tried to fool anyone.
2週間で10時間しか寝てないってののどこが騙してないって言うのよ。
Is that actually tasty? It almost felt like I was dealing with some sort of a scam, seeing her getting drunk on Mets, Coca-Cola, and Dr. Pepper.
おさむくんってさ、前の職場でもそうだったけど、家に帰りたくないとき、すぐに仕事に逃避するよね。
That was, all the clients we left on thin ice.
私もそう思ってキューンってきちゃったんだけどさ、今思うと単に大家さんに顔向けできなかっただけなんじゃ。
My reputation ruined?
でさ、昔もそうだったんじゃないかって。なんか奥さん、先生と顔合わせづらいことがあると急にバリバリ仕事こなして帰ってこなくなるとかさ。
That was so right on the mark, it hurts.
言ってたわよね、奥さん。おさむさん、同期で一番の出世頭だったって。若手のくせにすごく大きなプロジェクト任されてたって。おさむくんが失脚したのだって同期や上司から嫉妬を買ったせいってのもありそう。
I see. So that was how you praise someone to the point of making them lower their guard.
つまり奥さんがおさむさんと別れたのは仕事にかまけて自分から逃げてばっかりの夫に子供がどうとか言うのは自分を納得させるための後付けの理由で、今だってもう全然冷え切ってて、けど再会しちゃった手前今さら蒸し返すのもなんだし、とりあえずいい顔しとこうって心の中じゃ、今さらよりを戻そうなんて調子いいこと言ってるんじゃないわよこのダメ亭主とかおさむさんを罵倒してたり。
And she kept turning the knife in my heart. I wonder if that's the case. But still, if there was to be a twist, I would have preferred something like that compared to what I actually learned recently. If our so-called compatibility was merely the result of Asami's feeling sorry for me, and I ended up foolishly mistaking her pity for genuine love. If there was no deep wound in Asami's heart, and she had long since forgotten all about me without letting that whole issue with children get to her. If that was true, we could have we could give each other a forced smile or two and start a relationship anew from the handshake stage.
全然違うわよね。あれベタ惚れのままよね。おさむくんのセックスの虜よ
Oh
ね。
my.
だからそういう生々しいこと言うのやめてよ。朝までずっととか気絶しちゃったとか奥さんが
Oh
言ってた
my
こと思い出す
goodness.
じゃない。
What on earth are you three discussing behind my back? This was no good. Or wait, perhaps this was an improvement. Distracted by their vaporish small talk, I didn't even realize how drunk I'd gotten. And after an hour or so, thanks.
おかわりだって。サンキュー。ねえ、そっちのポッケ残ってる？
What is she saying? Pocky? Oh, a little, I think.
開けちゃっていいかしら。どうぞ。
Phew. Oh wow, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Fucking shit. As the two ran out of heartwarmingly abusive remarks to hurl my way, the room quietly quieted down.
で、どうするの、おさむくん。どうしたいの、おさむさん。
What do you mean?
先生ともう一度やり直したい？それとも新しい恋を取る？
And seemingly out of nowhere, they brought up a painfully touchy subject. The core problem behind it all, one could say.
何日も頑張って先送りにしたところでいつかは決めなくちゃならないことでしょ。だったら早く決めちゃった方がさ。おさむくんを追い込んじゃった方もおさむくんに生殺しにされてる方もどっちもかわいそうだよ。
Miss Kaya, Himeo, they were genuinely worried about me. Unable to watch me head down the path of self-destruction, they were gently pushing me away from it. Although I felt that whichever direction I chose to take a step in, I'll only end up plummeting down a precipice. But if I didn't have the courage to fall, everything would come to an end to an end before it could even begin. So I don't have the right to fall in love again.
ないわね。ちょっと姫様。
Himeo seconded my opinion with fierce emphasis.
あなたのことが心配なのは本当。早く元通りになってほしいって願ってる。
In her eyes, I could see worry, trust, and tenderness.
でも、そっちの選択は認めない。どうしてよりにもよってトコちゃんなのよ。
Himeo, mixed with disgust, wariness, and hate.
あなた、あの子のことずっとそういう目で見てたの？保護者だとか守りたいとかってやっぱり嘘だったわけ？
She used to be my comrade in arms. We both wished to help Toko get into Shusen Preparatory to elevate her economic burden. We both wanted her to be happy. Our goals had always been the same. We might have fought a lot, but beyond that, we felt an iron bond linking us. Until the end of last year, anyways.
この裏切り者！あなたなんか条例違反で捕まってしまえばいいのよ。歩きタバコとかで。やめなって姫様。おさむくん、そこまで悪くないんだよ。だってどっちかっていうと大家さんの方からなんだよ。好きになったのも先に伝えたのも。私そんなこと信じてないもの。大家さん、あそこまでガチンコなのに？そんなの一時の気の迷いよ。トコちゃんは騙されてるのよ。
I hope that was just the case, Himeo.
たとえ騙されてたとしても本気でおさむくんに恋しちゃってるよね。もう誰にも隠してないよね。私よりあからさまで姫様より強引だよね。笑って泣いて浮かれて傷ついて。分かってんじゃん。だってトコちゃんおさむさんしか見てないんだもの。いくら私の目が節穴だって嫌でも気づかされちゃうわよ。
Toko confessed to me, proving with deeds that her words were not empty. Her entire being burned with love for me.
ねえ、おさむくん、大家さん受かったよ。 終戦ライフの特待。
She was waiting for my reply, refusing to back down or move forward until she got her answer, but it all ended up being postponed due to my own selfishness.
おさむくんに喜んでもらいたくて一生懸命頑張って結果出したよ。
I wasn't sure how Toko felt as she waited for my answer.
最後の方は目的と手段が入れ替わってたけど、見事難関を突破したんだよ。
But I knew that had I gone home during the past 2 weeks, she would have still made dinner for me, prioritizing my mood and circumstances over her own.
だからおさむくん、あなたはちゃんと答えてあげなくちゃいけないよ。
Until I decided to bring it up from my end, Toko would not talk about the issue. She wouldn't even broach the subject.
奥さんのことを理由にいつまでも先延ばしにしてたら、ずっと放っておいたら、あの子ボロボロになっちゃうよ。
Yet she was unable to give up. Her love, for whatever reason, would not be extinguished.
正直私は反対だし、姫様なんて猛反対だし、誰も大家さんの気持ちを支持する人なんかいない。
Regardless of who looked at this issue, they all brand it as a mistake. It was terrible, foolish choice to make.
間違ってるけど、だからこそ強いよ、あの子の気持ち。
I could hardly believe it myself, but she seemed dead serious. Why?
あ、ボトルが嘘、今日開けたばかりの30年もの。私半分しか飲んでないのに。それだけ飲んでたら十分じゃない？
Why does it have to be this way? The 5 glasses of scotch I gulped down in a quick succession felt like they'd completely lit my brain on fire. Why do you keep blaming Toko? What has she done to you?
おさむさん。
Leave. Leave her alone. I won't allow you to bully her any longer.
おさむくん。
Oh damn, he's getting mad. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't accept the very idea that Toko had to suffer. I wanted to make her the happiest girl in the world. I wanted her to concentrate on what she liked and learn about the world around her. As for love, I hope she'll take her time with it and make sure not to rush things. I wanted her to lead a normal and fun life with everyone else. When I first met her, all she would ever show me was an angry expression. She slapped and lectured me, but at the same time, she also looked out for me. Her kindness brought me to tears, and I did indeed cry in front of her on several occasions. If she wanted to continue her studies, I'd find a way to afford her university fees. If she wanted to work, I'd do everything in my power to find her a good place. And once she grew up and found a person she loved, I would have liked to cheer her on. I would have loved to organize a blissful wedding ceremony that left no room for complaints. As time passed, she began to smile at me more. Whenever we returned from work and went out shopping, every time we studied together and each time we had dinner, both her touch and cooking filled me with her warmth. Back in those days, I was happy enough to be constantly on the verge of tears, and I wanted to return her smile with one of my own. But then, why? Why did she have to be me? Why did she have to be in such a hurry, Toko? Your future was bright and brimming with possibilities. As even more time passed, Toko's smile started losing its vigor. I was unable to understand what could have been plaguing her mind. I was powerless to understand her feelings. I didn't know what to do. Everything I did caused her more suffering. I love her. Toko cried in front of me. I love her more than anyone else in the world, and my feelings are in no way inferior to yours, Himeo, or to anyone else's. And then, when the pain became too strong for her to endure, she finally laid bare all that had resided in her chest. That's why I can't allow to fail That's why I can't allow a failed guardian that is a man like me to have Toko in her in any shape or form. Despite knowing how wrong it was, I couldn't help coveting those tiny soft lips of hers. I won't acknowledge any man that would make her unhappy. I can't allow it. I can't allow such bastard to take you, Toko. All I succeeded at was making her suffer even more. Da, 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 da. I'm sorry for shouting and everything.
トコちゃん頑固だものね。こうと決めたらテコでも動かないものね。
Himeo, who had always been castigating me just a few moments ago, was now trying to defend me from myself.
でもね、オサムくん。なら、オサムくんはあの子を振らなくちゃいけないよ。
Meanwhile, Miss Kaya touched upon the very issue I tried my best to avoid with a marksman precision.
これは誰かが絶対にしなくちゃならないことで、そして絶対にオサムくんにしかできないことだよ。
No, that would make Toko sad. I didn't even want to imagine it, but she would likely burst out in tears again. I didn't want to see her sad ever again. I wanted to spend the rest of my life basking in her smile. And I wanted her smile by my side. Well, I think that's a good stopping point for today's video. Again, I'm sorry for pausing out of nowhere. I had to go do something. Took a couple hours, so you can see my voice had changed and I started yawning a lot more because a couple hours had passed. But yeah, as always, everyone, if you liked today's video, don't forget to drop a like. If you have any comments or suggestions, comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to be on the lookout for the most forbidden love in the world video, the next Amagami video, and the next Rondo Leaflet video. But as always, everyone, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.